Muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, thank you, everyone, for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, and the love and support you guys send my way. From the heart, I appreciate every one of you. Also, do allow me to thank everyone for the support of getting the message out there, while it may be through like, dislike, that hype thing, or just watching the video. I really appreciate every one of you. But, anyways, tonight I want to get into a topic real fast, right? And basically, on how there's certain situations that you get put in prison that basically you're doomed, right? So you gotta chance it. You basically gotta weigh the peelies, right? Because even if you address him, it becomes a pride thing. Kind of like you do what you want, my orders stand. But allow me to make sense, right? You see, I'm gonna take you back to Corcoran, AR to be exact, right? And there was a camarada there that had came from a Pleasant Valley, the 3 yard. The homie Wicked from Tortilla Flats, Butt and Torrance. And yes, I'm the same. I had not known that Torrance had a clica out there on a different neighborhood because they don't like each other, right? But he was the only homie I met from there. Nevertheless, the homie Wicked was in Pleasant Valley, and somehow along the lines he was in touch with Fox. As everyone knows, Fox always had that the means, right, to tap into candy. So, anyways, they whoever had the yard, the homie fixed it to the point where he was allowed to do his thing, and he would just pay his respects to whoever sardine it was, right? And then do his things for Fox. Nevertheless, when you're doing your own thing in prison and you're not really out there like that, you're gonna run into knuckleheads, point blank, right? You're dealing with candy that you could say they're gonna try to always sit on pain. It's just facts, comes with. And if you're doing your own thing, when that happens, you gotta collect your feria, especially if it ain't yours, right? Nevertheless, it's the reason why I ended up in Corcoran Shoe. Cause I guess some homie or some vato was just playing dumb to the point where, it just hit the limit. Homie had no choice but to take care of it, right? So we went back to first stabbing, and at this time, Fox was in Corcoran. So the homie again, he was defending Fox material or his presence on that yard, and he did everything right. But at this time, there was a lot of, you could say, back and forth or misunderstandings when it came to Fox, Roland. At this time, Smilone was there. You know, with Artie, they just didn't really agree too much with Artie, even though they wouldn't say it right outright like that towards Artie. They still did their, we'll just say their hyena stuff behind And but I already knew this, you know. So nevertheless, you know, the homie Wicked, he had a vato as a celly from Fontana. Shady, if I remember correctly. But you see, when I got there and I read the paperwork, there shouldn't have been no reason why Homeboy should have been there taking his place right amongst our program. The last Llavero should have had him removed. Nevertheless, you know, I requested or I asked Travieso from MS why he didn't have him moved on because he had everything before me, right? And then came back that it was a request from Artie. He went hands off. Why? I don't know. As far as I knew, Homeboy wasn't really doing anything, right? But then again, it was personal, I guess, between them, right? So of course I shot that Wheela, that Mapila up to Artie and I double checked, which it was true, right? He said, whatever that paperwork said, dismiss. I'm telling you, he's hands off. Allow him to continue doing his program and he would eventually land where he's gonna land. And if I'm not there, he will answer up for it then. So again, we're just holding the place for somebody, right? It's just responsibilities. It's never our call. So for a couple months, everything was cool, right? We were going out to the group yard, get a little routine, little handball, come back in, and out of nowhere, the homie from Torrance, he would get in on my peel, and in that mapil, Fox was requesting to move on his celly, that he literally had to step it up. If he left that cell and got away, that was gonna be his butt. You know, in that I'm appeal, Fox was requesting some things that should not be requested by a pili, right? For example, don't tell the bloquero, don't tell nobody, just wiggle. I'll get you out of whatever comes your way. Which I'll be sincere, that's a lie. When a pili has you do something, any pili, they'll backtrack and they'll wash their hands and say, I don't know what he's talking about and allow you to hit a brick wall. You know, I could say it with a lot of security that I seen it happen many times, right? They tend to, well, at this time when the shoes were there, they tend to feel that once the camaradas in the shoe, they're not no use to them. And I know it may sound crazy because you could say that's where homies became camaradas, right? But you see, there's different type of pilis. There's those that, like Fox, he's always been about making feria. So if you're slamming the shoe, you ain't on the yard making feria, you know? Then there's those power hungry that as long as they have their soldados are representing their presence on the yard, they're happy with it. Anyways, there's different layers to a pili, right? Anyways, the homie being smart, he would eventually get in touch with us, right? Showing respect and telling us what was going on. Now, on a personal tip, I got at him and told him, look, homie, these are the exact orders from Artie. He stands off and he's not explaining the reasons why. I don't know the history why. So my advice is either reach out to Artie yourself and tell him what Fox is requesting of you, or if you trust more Fox, reach out to Fox and tell him what Artie's is putting out, that he hands off and he will not hesitate. So, anyways, at this time, my appeals are slow, especially from A yard to B yard. You gotta get your appeal ready, go out to medical, take it with you. If not, put out for the law library at this time and get it over there, right? And then wait for the response. Again, it wasn't my place to speak for the homie, cause well, it was personal between him and his Peely, right? I did my job by spreading Artie's wishes. The rest is up to them. And I guess, it came back from both of them. Whatever my carnal says, that's his business. I'm telling you what I want done, and I want it done, or you're through. Keep in mind, one's pulling one way, the other one's pulling the other. But either way you decide to take, the other one of them's gonna go after you. You're done. So tell me, what would you do? What would be your action? You know, you gotta take that soldado way. It's what I advise the homie. I'll be honest, we went out to the group yard and we did a rutina, and I told the homie, hey, let's take a couple laps, homie. A lo menos aquí, en corto. So we're taking laps, and he's like, man, I don't know what to do. I've been doing things for Fox for years, but I also don't want to disrespect Artie, right? And I told him, look, homie, the way I see it is this is Artie's house. Everybody knows it. So I would meet it halfway. So he told me, what do you mean halfway? Fox is requesting for you to put steel in, homeboy. I'll be honest, if it weren't for Artie, homeboy has it coming, no buts or ifs. Regardless if he owes Fox or whatever, his paper speaks alone, right? He was one of them nasty crime on fools, right? Anyways, I guess he was paying to Artie though. And I didn't advise him. I just told him, look, homie, things happen in the cell between cellies. Maybe cleaning, a disrespect. Maybe once having a bad day gets loca with you. And you boot up, suit up, and knuckle up. You're basically not gonna pull the mission as Fox wants you, but you're pulling it. And at the same time, you're not disrespecting Artie because it's a personal thing. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I didn't advise him. I just put out there a narrative, right? In the hopes he could read between the lines. And nevertheless, so homeboy decided on his own. He didn't do nothing. He decided he wasn't gonna go against Artie. He'd rather deal with Fox. Which in a sense that's smart, right? Cause you're in Artie's house. And God bless the homie. He got lucky. What I mean by lucky is it happened around the time where Fox got snatched up and he got taken to the bay. And well, let's just say there were certain topics up there in the bay, right, that were of more importance than the homie. The homie kept cruising, did his shoe turn for that stabbing, and would get back out to the line. As I heard, he got back to the line, reached out, and he continued to hold it down for Fox. You see, now he was on the line, he could provide. So whatever happened in Corcoran was forgotten. I guarantee you, though, he would have done what Fox wanted, Artie would have not forgotten. So again, it's one of them times, though, where you get lucky, when you get put in the spot by two different Billies, and at the end of the day, it was real famous from Sherm. You used to sometimes be in a spot with Sherm and he would tell you something, you would tell him, hey, but you're carnal. And he would straight tell you, I don't give an S what my bro's saying. I don't like what he's saying. I don't have to follow what he's saying. He has choices. But nevertheless, they seem to always forget the vato in the middle, right? The one that gets put on the spot with no compassion to either do or don't do. But regardless, you're going to the other side or you're getting whacked because you can get put on that lista. In my stay in Tehachapi, I seen it. Corcoran, I seen it. Pelican Bay, it's where it happened the most. It's a game of power. And I said it before. It's a game that they wouldn't even discuss it amongst each other. They would be on the tier playing chess while they're yanking at camaradas from every angle to either do or don't do, but you're done regardless. The homie ended up skating. He would end up hitting Folsom, I believe. And again, he continued doing his thing. And just I left Corcoran and news stopped coming back, right? So I don't really know what ended up happening with the homie, but the point of the message on this one is, you get put in situations where there's no good or bad way to take. You're either gonna buck up and get whacked, but regardless, there's only one ending, right? So after you sacrifice, whatever, a sacrifice is a sacrifice. To go in and by those that are supposed to build the camarada, those you're supposed to go in and pay your respects to, they're gonna toy with you and just that simple toss you away. The reason why I'm even touching on this, not only because I had this personal experience with this, but I speak to camaradas. I won't even say the angles, right? Because anything I speak it from my experience. I wanted to come down on me. But it's happening a lot more in the yards now that they're walking. You see, now you could be walking the track, you hit one building. A pili sitting outside of one building gives you an order. But there's so much on each other's throat. You continue to walk, you hit 3 billion, there's another Pili. Hey, what did you speak with my carnal? And just to go against his own brother, they're gonna put you on that spot. Oh, he told you to hit this fool? Hey, he's paying me, he's hands off. You touch him, that's your butt. What's next? But regardless, again, it's just a small glimpse of that myth, that misled belief that you have to go in and earn your respect. You're gonna find true carnalismo inside. Love, respect. There's none of that. None of that. There is nothing but headaches, sacrifices, and heartaches. Cause if you're good at doing time, cool. But there's heartaches. It's gonna come from the angle of you have kids, seeing your kids grow up without you. Family, seeing your jefita getting old and you not being there. That's what I speak about sacrifices. Being a soldado, that's what we sign up for. So, but all the betrayals, regardless, be smart. Stay true to yourself and loyal to loved ones. Buenas noches.
This is so